think another thing that I didn't realize is that it's okay to not like people. If you go out on a date with someone and you're not interested in them, you don't have to date them. You don't have to go on a second date with them. You don't have to convince yourself that you like them because they like you and kind of force the situation to work. If the situation doesn't work, that's fine. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Been MIA for a couple weeks, but I'm back. So you're probably confused a little by the title, things like me saying that I'm forcing myself to stay single. Well, as with everything on this channel, there's a little story time, little background. So essentially, I had an ex-boyfriend around 9 months ago, I want to say. We weren't together for very long, but essentially we were dating, and I went to meet his parents, and the next day he came over and told me that his parents told me that he can't marry me because my parents are divorced and I don't have a good relationship or existing relationship with my mom, so our future grandchildren wouldn't be able to have a lot of family on my side. So he said that he wants to continue to stay with me, but he can't be with me long term because his parents said so. He's not going to break up with me. I was the one who actually had to break up with him because he didn't have the decency to do so. He said he still wanted to stay with me, but that there was no future for us. And I decided, well, what's a relationship if we can't have a future together, right? That's just essentially a waste of time. So I ended up breaking up with him, but he broke up with me, I want to say, about like less than 24 hours before I had a midterm the next day, and I bombed that midterm. I got a 42% on the multiple choice section of that midterm, and I almost failed that class, and my GPA was under 3.0 for that quarter, which is really, really bad by my standards because I know that I can do better. So in that instance, I kind of decided that I'm going to remain single until I graduate because I can't really risk someone coming into my life again and having the same thing happen, even if people say verbally that they would never do something like that and they're cognizant of things like that. You never really know the kind of situation that you can be getting into, and at that point I didn't really have a lot of trust. So suffice to say, it was so beneficial to me to do that. And now that I've remained single for, I want to say, about 9 months, a little over 9 months at this point, I did find that not dating and just focusing on school did help my GPA, and I was able to get a much better GPA in the quarters after that and make dean's lists. So academic performance similar to previous academic performance that I had before I met this individual. And it wasn't always the case because I had dated people in the past when I was in school, but I never really had a course load like this because before that I was studying a Bachelor of Arts and then I switched over to the Bachelor of Science. So the course load was much more difficult, and the person who I was dating was, I don't want to say clingy, but very codependent. So I never really felt like I had enough time to spend with this person, but at the time I was also spending arguably too much time, and I never really had time to do schoolwork. So breaking up with them really helped me free up more time in order to study. But me being single for 9 months or whatever has caused me to do a bit of reflection, because in previous instances it was the case where I would break up with someone and then I would be single for 3 or 4 months, and then by then I would already be in a new relationship. And the thing is that I was in relationships with these people after barely getting to know them. I had known them for 1 or 2 weeks and we were already in a relationship. And the thing is that I would date these people knowing that I was probably going to break up with them sooner or later because they didn't exactly meet my requirements. There was some sort of conflict in our core values, or there were deal breakers, things that I personally couldn't get over that I can't expect other people to change about themselves, but I'd still go into the relationship thinking that maybe I can try something different, maybe I can work something out. And honestly, I feel like all that I've learned from that experience is it doesn't really benefit me to try something new, try something different, if it's something that I can't compromise on, and I already know ahead of the time that I can't compromise on it. So there's really no point in me dating people that I don't see a future with, you know. I think there's a difference between liking someone, between getting along well with them, and actually seeing a future with someone. I guess that's what I mean when I refer to myself as a bit of a player, because I've definitely had relationships in the past where, like I said, I just thought to myself, you know, oh, it's okay. I'll just date them for a couple of months and then break up with them, and it's fine, right? I'm not gonna get attached. But then I get attached, and then I realize the more that I'm dating them that this isn't really going to work out because there are just some things about them that bother me, and I break up with them. And I'm a very dramatic person, so it's really funny because it's like in those German rap songs when they sing like Die Flasche ist leer genau wie mein Herz. That means that the glass is empty exactly like my heart, or mein Herz ist schwarz genau wie dein Nagel. That means that my heart is black exactly like your nails. Things like that. I feel like those are examples of things that are really corny, really over exaggerated, almost to a funny point, but that's exactly how I would feel when I would break up with these people because I was attached, you know, that my heart is broken and I'm so sad and I'm never going to get over this, and I would cry all the time, every day, all day, inside of class, out of class, what have you, right? So I think it was kind of foolish for me to assume that me just dating these people is going to be like a harmless interaction, because you know, some people would say, oh, you know, you were just playing them, but honestly, I didn't really derive any benefit from that experience because I also got hurt in the process. So it's not really in the way that you would think it would be. So I kind of decided to, I suppose, make some new rules for myself. And I guess that would be that I have a list of criteria that people need to meet, and these are just baseline things, preferences. I'm not really talking about physical. This is more so about your political views, religious beliefs, your lifestyle choices, choosing to smoke or not to smoke, drinking, things like that. But I have a list of about 5 or 6 things, and if this person doesn't meet those requirements, then I don't really need to go on a second date with them. I don't need to pursue anything further. It's better to just cut it off as it is. And then I guess the other thing would be is that if I feel that they're not really making an effort, or I feel like they're kind of lukewarm about me, if I have to be making more of an effort to get to know these people, then they are making an effort to get to know me, in the sense that they're very unresponsive and it's clear that they do have other things to do with their time, they're just not spending it on me. It's a lot easier for me to just exit the situation and, you know, not have to deal with that. And I'm not gonna lie, I think that it is difficult being single, but at the same time, making this promise to myself that I'm going to just focus on my schoolwork and the next stages in my life, I feel like it has really been beneficial towards me, at least in terms of my academic performance, and just making sure that I meet certain goals before I go out and date other people. For example, I don't think that I would date myself in my current situation because I would want to date someone who is independent from their parents and drives their own car, has their own reliable source of transportation, and is someone who's graduated from school and is working. So essentially a financially independent and stable adult. And me, as someone who's still in university, I'm almost graduated, I'm not graduated yet, but I still am not financially independent from my parents. I also don't have a full-time job, obviously, so I'm not really able to spoil someone in the way that I would want to in a relationship because I don't have access to those monetary funds, you know. So at this point in time, I can't really expect to date someone who meets all those criteria, but mine not having met those criteria myself. So, you know, it's kind of just a toss up. But I also think that me choosing to remain single for longer has allowed me to raise my standards and hopefully attract better people, not just people who are interested in me because of my looks or for some sort of shallow reason. I think that it's more important to find someone who is interested in you for who you are and takes an interest in your interests. For me, I really like working out, so doing anything active, working out with people in the gym, or going to play volleyball, or if someone that I'm dating has interests, athletic interests that I don't share, trying that out. I think that's really fun to me, but I think it's important to have other things that you have in common or other things that you can talk about besides yourself. That's definitely not a deal breaker, but at some point for me, I kind of get bored about wallowing in my self-pity and talking about myself. I think it's much more interesting to listen to other people talk or just have deep discussions about certain things. So yeah, I think that's about it for today's video. If you've had similar experiences, my DMs on Instagram are always open, so you can feel free to share your thoughts with me, or you can leave a comment down below about if anything similar has happened to you and if that's caused you to reflect on anything and how you've been approaching dating or past negative dating experiences that have made you decide, you know what, just closing myself off for now. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you next time. Bye!